you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Good morning, Nigeria. Today we begin our show with a moment of reflection. As the nation comes to terms with the heartbreaking attacks in Benue, our hearts go out to the affected families. And in times like this, we're reminded that even the noise of daily life, some voices deserve our silence and our attention. As Maya Angelou once said, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. And sadly, too many stories are being buried before they are told. But here on Ways Breakfast, we remain committed to being a platform that listens, engages, and speaks up, especially for young Nigerians navigating a complex world. Today, we switch gears to a more upbeat story, one that reminds us of resilience, passion, and purpose, the inspiring Guinness World Record attempt by O. Daniels. My name is Oluchi Precious Omink, and as always, I've been joined by the ever-vibrant, ever-glowing God's Beauty Israel Tobechukwu. Let's get into it. How are you doing, girl?
Good. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. So when I asked Okiki yesterday how the show went, and being from her response, she said it was quite emotional and heartbreaking and everything. And I don't think I was ready for that kind of news on Monday. So I was down under the weather, as they would call it, and I had some other engagement to do, so I couldn't come. And then I felt like, thank God I wasn't there, literally, because I don't know how I would have, reacted to the story, or how I would have even contributed, because sometimes grief is not such a story that you can open up. Even though this particular grief story is one that is like a call to action for the government, but there's also underneath it grief. So I've been thinking a lot, because I've also been watching videos of people that come out to express grief. And I wonder, how do people really go about living with grief? Have you ever had someone who had grieved so bad? Did you even know how to comfort the person? What did you do in situations like that?
I've actually not been in situations like that, but I know for sure that it's not an easy one, right? And imagine a country where, seeking therapy, seeking help is not really, we don't create that kind of awareness. There's always that, no worry, with time you go do all right. I mean, once you engage in one or two things, you become fine. And I don't think that's really the solution that we need. Given what has happened in Benue, I actually feel like, apart from the, security agent support that we need from, the government, there should also be that part where all of those people should be taken to counseling, so that their mental health can actually
trauma response.
Yeah, because to be honest, like I said, we are in a country where we don't really talk about this kind of things. It's just on surface level. Only we, actually the Gen Zs, that are quite aware of these things and talk about it. Once you bring it out on the socials, you hear, oh, no worry, just pray to God, you'll be fine. And I mean, imagine we have that kind of mentality still roaming about in the society. How exactly do we not get the help that, the people in Benue need? So really, it's a lot. But then I think that, the fact that we are always talking about it, would someday, we'll get the response that we actually need.
I believe that. Honestly, grief is not a funny thing. Over the weekend, from the plane crash to Benue, I'm like, how many people have lost their lives in the space of how many days? It's a sad thing. I even heard that a mother lost her children and probably her sister, like a whole family. It's sad, honestly. And I'm praying and trusting God that, these people get the solace and the comfort that they desire. Of course, we're moving on straight, and we have very interesting lineup for today, but we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look to the headlines across the globe. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, our valued viewers. Thank you for sticking with us. Remember, you're the main ingredient in all of our conversation today. And for today's conversation, I'm sure you have one or two things to ask our guests, and we would love to hear your thoughts. Our phone lines are open. Please call us on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, we'll keep singing it. Go now to the official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune in to channel 145 on your Go TV, and don't miss anything that we have on this channel. Now, I want to take a look at the papers across the international papers and the local papers, and God's Beauty would be starting.
All right, straight into the South China Morning Post newspaper. By the top left, we have compassion at time of death. And at the top center, we have Thai drinks firm eyes, Hong Kong listing. And at the top right, we have the many faces of Donald Trump. I mean, me and you know that the faces that Donald Trump has is a lot. But we'll talk about that seconds from now. Then we have at the center image headline, we have masterpieces from the Middle East. And at the main story, that's at the left column, we have Macy's 20% surge in visitor numbers. Then at the center middle column, we have consumers buoyant even as trade storm swells. And at the bottom, full with, that's the last headline on the newspaper, has Lee begins public consultation for policy address. So the headline I'll be talking on, just about two. The first one is consumers buoyant even as trade storm swells. So we have the, even though there's a global economic uncertainty caused by tariff and trade tension, especially between major economies like the United States and China, consumers remain optimistic. Now, people still spend money. They go for shopping and they participate in the economy instead of pulling back. Now, we have further, we have consumer confidence is a major driver of economic health. If people are still spending despite economic fears, it can stabilize markets and prevent recession. Now, this suggests resilience in the local economy and believe that the trade situation will eventually resolve. So when I saw the story, I said, this is exactly what's going on even here in Nigeria. Even with, we know how, costly things are right now. I mean, we understand the law of gravity when it comes to, purchasing items, where once they go up, they never come down. Do you understand? And, I mean, even with that, you still see people still buy things. I mean...
Because people still have to get those things.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's one thing for us to say that, there's really a tariff problem, given the tariff storm, rather, I mean, with the issue between China and the United States. But then that's not going to stop anybody from getting what they actually need. We're talking about necessity now, not even about wants right now. So that's one part. Then the other headline I want to talk on says the many faces of Donald Trump. So the details that I found said the many faces of Donald Trump explores the complex and often contradictory persona of the former and current United States president, known for his bold, unpredictable style. Now, Trump has worn many hats, from billionaire businessman and TV personality to nationalist leader and political disruptor. Now, the understanding this varying persona is crucial for interpreting his political decisions and anticipating his potential future roles on the global stage. So there's this issue around how exactly do we know when he states out certain things? If he's probably on the political face or is he on a businessman face? And I think this story somehow makes me remember there's a time where, I can't remember the country now, but, particular, I think a private jet was sent to him. And then he was saying, this particular jet is small for me. And then everybody was asking, is this for you personally or is it for the United States? I mean, given that you're the president, so let's understand it. And I think, that's always the conflict that people have certain times where, Trump come out to say certain things. So, Oga, what exactly are you saying? This particular thing you're saying, is it from the businessman on spot?
Oga for me. You've got some boldness.
Come on, man. But you get it. So I feel like it's something that a lot of people always, I mean, everybody, including me, we always ask ourselves, whenever he comes up with even certain policies, we always want to ask, where is this one coming from? Is it you as a businessman or is it you as a president? But then, I mean, it is what it is. It's not like there's anything we can do now. He's already there. Certain policies, we just have to accept it or embrace it. But yeah, that's all I have for you on the newspaper today.
Thank you so much. Let's move on now to the Guardian newspaper. Not so great news. I mean, still the same Benue story that we have here. But the major headline reads, CDS links military saboteurs to Benue massacre ahead of Tinubu's visit. And above that, we see Sokoto to negotiate with repentant bandits to end insecurity. Tanker drivers suspend loading over Lekki Ekpe e-call-up fee. The Guardian and City Production unveils the Nigerian Summit 2025. Below that, we see NMDPRA CEO traveled on official engagement and is not under investigation. Petrol, Pengaza accuses government and marketers of exploiting consumers. We have more story here. Damagum denies defection plans as Tinubu's ex-aide vows to plot his 2027 defeat. And the last story on The Guardian reads, declining food prices, stable forex reduced inflation to 22.97% in May. Of course, let me give you the full story of the major headline for The Guardian. It says that the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, yesterday alleged the presence of saboteurs within the Nigerian military, implicating them in the Yewata massacre in Benue State that claimed over 200 lives. Recall that in May 2025, during a television interview, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum declared that we have informants and collaborators within the Nigerian armed force, within the politicians, and within the communities. What we shall do is to strengthen our intelligence and to deal with them ruthlessly. He added, let's remove contractocracy. In 6 months, we can put an end to this madness. We need not politicize insecurity. And speaking during a visit to Yewata to assess the destruction caused by last Saturday's attack, Musa disclosed that some military personnel have been betraying the army by leaking vital information to bandits. This is one killing too many. From here, I'm going to see my commanders. We need to change our strategy, look inward, and see how we can address this. We can't do it alone without the state. We need everybody to be part of it. I don't know how this sounds already. I mean, having to hear something as, I would say, is disgraceful. It's disgraceful to say that there's some speculations that some military personnel have been betraying the army by leaking vital information to bandits, meaning that the reason why you're even seeing some of the killings happening is because those that are meant to protect, those that are meant to be at the forefront of securing the nation are also being questionable in their activities by leaking. And this is taking me back to one voiceover I did recently. It was like a documentary for Anini. Remember Anini? That I mean, brutal human being that existed one time ago. And then the story also highlighted how that he was able to penetrate and do the evils that he did because he had support from people in power. And I'm seeing a replay here, and it doesn't really make sense. So I don't know what exactly the plan is, but the Borno State governor has come out to say that they're not about to politicize insecurity. They're going to change their strategy, maybe fish out these people through some, I don't know how they want to do it, but we shouldn't hear of things like this. It becomes disgraceful in that sense, like an embarrassment. People that are meant to protect us, you are seeing that there are some people that are intels to these bandits, and it doesn't make any sense at all. Let me quickly run through the Daily Trust, and then we wrap up today's paper, because honestly, the papers are not quite interesting this morning. It's going to feel some sad feelings that I do not want. The major headline also reads, Benue killings, David Mark warns of self-defense as Tinubu visits. And that's like the major headline here for the Daily Trust. Now, still on this Benue killing, somebody put something yesterday that it made me think about it. So she's a popular Nigerian actress, Kehinde Bankole. She puts on her Instagram yesterday. She said, Benue incident is too heartbreaking, too sad. My heart is going out to every family affected. How would they be consoled? Too heartbreaking for words. And I totally agree with her. And then she now put out another post by our favorite online doctor. He said, there was plane crash in India, trending news all over the world. Israel attacks Iran, trending news all over the world. Terrorists invade a village to butcher and bury 200 people in Benue State. Most Nigerian media, Jarvis breaks down after Pella walks out of the relationship. Do you get it? So she now put her own comment. She says that nothing against these youngsters, but it is pathetic. It's more sad as this shows consumer appetite. Right. The people have a role to play. If media houses churn out mediocre news based on their timing and the people shun it, it will force them to do the right thing. But everywhere you see people engage under such posts, even more when there are so many serious issues on ground at the time, majority minds and intelligence will break your heart. The media carries such huge responsibility, but so must the people as well. And I think that's something to really look out for. The breakdown was quite funny, but it made me reflect. How do we really express our dissatisfaction to some tragedy that we hear? Do we just sweep it under the carpet and are more concerned with other trending issues? Do you understand?
Yeah,
things that they don't hold water in that sense. Or do we they're not relevant.
That's the word.
Okay. Or do we ensure that, we keep talking about these things, we keep, sympathizing with them. I saw many celebrities, both Christian celebrities, Afrobeats, Nigerian actors, all putting out their sympathy for the people of Benue. And then some people are still feeling like, well, we don't even care about it. So that's why I feel like this story has a lot of things to make us reflect as a people. Even though we have some that are grieving, we as a nation, as a people now, must not lose our empathy in this dire situation. And that's why I wrap up the story today, sadly. All right, we're going to take another short break, and when we return, our topic today, of course, we're going to be setting the tone. We have someone who is set to break a record, and when we see things that are this commendable, we have to ask questions. So our guest is going to be joining us live on this table to explore what it really means to break a record. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Welcome back, viewers. Our topic today is exploring old Daniel's journey to setting a new record. Our guest today is not just a voice on the radio, he's a force of passion, resilience, and community impact, known across Nigerian airwaves as Old Daniels. Olusegun Daniels Oloyede is attempting to break a Guinness World Record for the longest marathon hosting of a radio talk show 120 hours. But beyond the mic, his story is one of humble beginnings, personal transformation, and relentless drive. From battling shyness and poor diction in his Oshogo childhood to becoming a commanding voice at High Impact 102.1 FM, his journey reads like a masterclass in purpose and perseverance. He has served as a teacher, a community leader, an event manager, and of course, an award-worthy radio personality whose work touches lives daily. Today, we unravel the layers behind this incredible feat, his motivation, and the deeper mission fueling this bold Guinness World Record attempt. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the resilient, the inspiring, the man with the voice and the vision, Daniels. Hello. Good morning,
Yeah,
Daniels.
hi guys.
I like the fine tune your name has, you know, I mean, Olusegun and everything, you just had to put it up as Daniels. Quite amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. So let's start with this whole 120 hours. I mean, I think from Hilda Bassi, that's when I started looking at Guinness World. That's when I started looking at Guinness World Record as a thing, right? I think before then, the only one I knew of was Kafi. For the longest dance, so I didn't really need to pay attention to it. But from Hilda Bassi's own, we started seeing many more people break records and everything. So this is quite inspirational. 120 hours, I mean, talking. Hey, I talk for a living. I haven't done 10 hours at a stretch. And sometimes, even with 1 hour, I'm out of breath sometimes. I need water. But 120 hours is a lot. What message do you really hope to send? I mean, beyond the microphone. I want you to tell us what is inspiring this.
Okay, well, first off, thank you guys for bringing me here. I'm really honored. I didn't even know that I had a story like that.
Of course you do.
Okay, I just wanted people to know that you can push yourself beyond the limits. You know, sometimes you don't actually know what you can do if you've not tried it. You know, so this is a message to people that, look, you have to try something to know that you can actually do it. So it's a lot on me, and I know that this is going to happen.
I like that. So, you know, one thing about me is I like to face reality.
Okay,
right?
let's face it.
Yes, let's face it. So tell me, have you been preparing so far? Because I'm very sure there must be preparation. Given that, I mean, it's a Thursday to Monday thing. Look at it, 120 hours, that's a lot. So tell me, what's your preparation looking like?
Okay, first off, shout out to a team of people that I have, because when I got the approval from Guinness World Record, I had to put a team together to make us do this. I mean, it's not a one-man business at the end of the day.
Sure.
So we have teams that are working on several things. We've got the medical team, we've got the welfare, we've got the fitness, we've got the security. We've got so many teams, you know, just to put things together. So yeah, we've been preparing, but I know for sure that preparation never finishes, you know, until you're done with what you're doing. So we're still doing it, even in terms of my physical fitness and everything. You know, I've been doing some kind of routines that I was never doing before now. And then, yeah, that's helping me to prepare for what's about to come. It's 120 hours. The current record is 88 hours. And no, not a Nigerian. Okay. He's a Japanese, actually. But then if somebody did 88 hours, then it means that you can actually go beyond that limit. There's a reason the records are broken, you know. By the way, somebody did in Nigeria. I think somebody just mentioned Nigeria now. Shout out to Mighty George. He did it recently in Akwa Ibom now. Okay. Yeah, but point is, and I need to clear this air because I know that a lot of people have questions when it comes to the fact that somebody has done in Nigeria. Why are you 2 months down the line, you're doing yours, you know? But Guinness World Record is not something you just wake up one day and say you want to attempt the next day. You know, you have to apply to it. And then once you apply, they give you a number of weeks before they approve it. In my own case, it was almost 5 months before they actually approved. So I applied to Guinness World Record in January, and then I got the approval in May.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I never knew that someone else was trying to break the same record that I'm trying to break. And when I applied, I had put the dates that I wanted to do the attempt there, you know. That is June 26 to 30. And so that's why I'm doing that now. So that if anybody has some kind of energy towards this, it is what it is. When you're trying to do something, when you have an idea, sometimes you're probably not the only person that has that idea. You know, other people are probably thinking about the same thing.
Yes.
So that's that's a thing.
That's amazing. So reading through your bio and looking at you now, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of growth that has happened. So, you know, you
Okay.
mentioned that you struggled with your diction, that you were shy, you know, that timid child, and now you are about to break a record, I
Yeah.
believe. So did you ever imagine that your voice would one day attempt to echo for 5 days straight? Looking at your background and right where you are now.
Okay, I was a kid. I was timid. I was shy. Let me tell you something. I couldn't even ask a girl out.
But you have
It
a
was that
girlfriend
bad.
now.
Yes, I do.
Personal
I do.
question. Permit me.
Yeah. You know, I couldn't ask somebody out because I was so shy. I couldn't talk. I couldn't articulate my words and everything. But you know, I started working on myself at some point, and then it all added up. Look at me today now talking on television, and it's crazy. I didn't see this coming years ago, but of course, when my career started, I knew that at some point my voice was going to be something that people will reckon with. So, you know, yeah, that's why I'm here now.
I know. I'd like you to really explain how that transitioning happened. Somebody who was shy. I mean, the first career option you want to think of is not wanting to be in front of the screen or holding the microphone. So how did that transitioning happen? When did you discover your voice, that boldness to want to stand in front of the screen or hold the microphone?
Okay, yeah, I have a biography that's going to come out real soon. I'm sure a lot of people probably will see that. But yeah, I remember... Oh, it's kind of emotional because when I look at the journey, it's crazy. So, excuse me, I realized that I needed to be in front of people. I don't even know how that happened, but I knew that I needed to work on my confidence because I just thought to myself that life is not for the shy, the timid. It's actually for the bold people and confident. And so I knew that I couldn't do that if I can't talk, if I cannot stand in front of people and, you know, say something to them and all of that. So I started, when I was done with secondary school, I remember I went to buy Brighter Grammar again. I don't know if you remember that textbook. It's English textbook.
Okay.
And I had to buy that book. I was studying, I was reading, I read it back to back. And then I was watching a lot of seasonal movies at the time. I just wanted to know how to put tenses together, you know, just to help my diction and everything. And it's added up. I didn't know, but it was a time I was in school. By the way, I didn't study mass communication.
Neither did I.
Okay. So I was in school. I studied geography and environmental management. We were at a field work in Lokoja, Kogi State, and one of my lecturers just called me and said that she wanted me to represent the department to give the weather report at the Unilorin FM at the time. I mean, I looked at her and I was like, why? She was like, she's heard me talk a number of times and she knew that I could do this. And then she followed me through the process. She took me to the FM one day. The second time, she took me there. And then the third time, she was like, okay, now it's time to leave you alone. You can do this. And then I started doing it. And to be very honest, it wasn't easy the first time. I had gnashing teeth. I wasn't confident enough to, you know, the first time they opened the mic to me to talk on radio. And then, so when I was doing that consistently, my lecturer called me and she was like, Olusegun, I listened to you on radio. You sound so good. Keep doing it. And then that was actually the first time I realized that, oh, somebody actually can hear me. Even though I had worked on my diction and everything, at that point, I had confidence. I wanted to be in front of people talking. That was how I groomed myself. You know, it was a journey. But then when my lecturer called me and said, look, I listened to you on radio, and you sound so good, I was like, wow, okay. Wow, maybe there's something here. And then I started doing it. And when I was done with school, I joined another radio station. I was co-hosting. The manager of the radio station came to meet me one day, and he was like, look, we hear you on radio, and we want you to start your own show. Well, I didn't do the show. I didn't do it. because of some things. I had to leave Ilorin, and then I came to Lagos, and then, so it's been a journey actually.
Interesting.
that.
I'd like to read some message on our YouTube platform. Some people are saying, there's Oloyede Taiwo saying, Starboy O Daniels. Bobby Kelvin is saying, rooting for you, O Daniels. Wani Femi Falabi says, Oluwani Femi Falabi, pardon me, says, well done. And I'm sure you already have your fans that can't wait for when you're going to break this record.
I know, we can do it.
We can do it.
So I'm curious to know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to say that you want to, do all of these things, this beautiful, bold step. I love it. But then what's the content that would be, that you were talking about for 120 hours? I'm curious to know what exactly you're doing so that people can stay tuned to listen to you.
Right.
I mean, it's one, like I said, it's one thing to say you want to do these things, and another thing to, I've prepared and say, okay, this is what we're talking about. And I'm just curious to know. So what exactly?
So like I mentioned earlier, we have different teams, and one of the teams is actually the program schedule. So we have programs scheduled for the whole 120 hours already. Now, radio actually entertains, informs, and educates, all right? So whatever we're talking about has to be all-round education, entertainment, and information. So it's all walks of life. If anybody is a professor, for example, we can interview you. If you are an entertainer, you can come on the show, we interview you. If you are a chef, you can come on the show, we interview you. So it's all walks of life. It's all packed up, not just entertainment, it is everything. Everything you can literally think about. So that's the conversation we're having on those shows.
Amazing. Well, we have to take a short break now. We have more things to open up, but we'll take a short break, and when we return, I have more questions for O Daniels here, and I'm sure our viewers as well have questions. You can drop them on our YouTube channel, and I'll definitely read every one of them out. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for sticking with us. We've been joined by O Daniels, and he's attempting to break the Guinness World Record, to start or set a new record. I think that's a better way to put it, for 120 hours straight. And I think one thing I took from your conversation, having to go back to how you started, is that people helped you discover your voice. Because, I mean, with your timid background and everything, it just took someone to call it out. And I think I want to relate to that story, because I remember in university, I didn't plan really, because I didn't study mass comm. I studied guidance and counseling, so it was more psychology, therapy, and everything. But I was a businesswoman because I wanted to make some few coins. And then with my business, I would be the one to do the voiceover, to market it. And so I was putting my voice out there. Do you understand? And then it took a number of people to say, Precious, you've got a really nice voice. And that was just the only thing I needed to get some interest in media, in communications, and today I'll say I've started, and of course the future is bright in that sense. So I think this is something our viewers can take home and just just, I mean, your environment sometimes says more story than you know. I know we're in an environment where we think it's criticism, bad blood, people are not, they're not your persons. But sometimes if you listen well enough, you know that there's some things that can help you set you on the trajectory that you should follow. So I want us to talk more about this media space, because, I mean, we're all media personalities here. That's quite a new one. I don't think we've had any media personality on our table, maybe on Gossip Gala, but on Breakfast, I'm glad to have you join us. And we know that we're in a world where clout, I mean, it's often outweighs content, but yet media personalities ought to build authenticity. So how's that been for you so far? How do you maintain authenticity in a world where everybody's just concerned about clout and everything? I like your laughter before you answer every question. I think that's your signature.
Yeah, so in the world we are today, I think you can't exactly take away clout. You can't. I'll be deceiving myself if I said that I don't do clouts, and everybody here, except we want to just sit here and just deceive ourselves. Everybody does the clouds. Look, so I was coming here and then I brought some team members with me who are trying to take videos and capture the moments and all of that. That's kind of clouds, But at the end of the day, you must always decide to yourself that you have to stay authentic regardless the clouds that you're trying to do just for people to see you and all of that. Look, what I'm gonna do, what I'm about to do, there most likely will be a lot of clouds in it, all right? But it doesn't change the fact, or it doesn't take the fact that it is still authentic. There's a plan, there's a reason for this, and that people absolutely will see it.
I like that.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to say something, but it just came to my mind. And I want you to be very honest with us. Going back to this whole Guinness World Record attempt thing, I'm sure there are some times that you felt like, I wish I didn't send that application in January. Let us be very honest. I want us to have a bit of vulnerability. So when thoughts like that come up to you, I mean, maybe when you're alone, your team members are not there to cheer you and tell you the progress you're making so far in other planning areas, what's that thing that keeps you, that makes you say, no, I'm not going to drop this. I'm still going to do this?
Two things. First off, the cause, because I don't just want to break the record just for breaking sake. Don't get me wrong. Breaking the record is a good idea. I'm going to break it. Okay? But there's a cause to it, and that is, I'm sure maybe there's no time to tell the story, but the cause is actually to reach out to kids who couldn't afford education and who couldn't pay for their JAMB or WAEC or something, just an opportunity to go to school. That's the cause, really. And we're going to be doing a lot of that after the Guinness World Record. Second thing, when I look at my team and I look at every support I've gotten so far, I see it in my cocoon sometimes, and I'm like, man, I cannot disappoint those people.
Yeah.
I cannot. It's already too late. There's no turning back now. Now, is there any time that I wish I didn't actually go through with the application? I don't think there's any time like that. However, there are times I'm nervous. I'm thinking about the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, guy, you're really going to do this, and you can't afford to disappoint. So yesterday, if you were on my contact list, you'll see something I put up on my status, right? My dad posted, I had an interview earlier last week, and then my dad put that on his status. He was watching me on the TV, and I was talking, and then he put that on his status, and he was like, yeah, 120 hours, my boy, you're going to do it. And that, I felt like crying when I saw that, because that was quite emotional for me, that my dad sat down to look at me and watch me on the TV talking. And, so when I think about all of these things, I'm like, I cannot afford it. I can't afford to disappoint these people. So, first the cause, and secondly the team people, the team members that were doing this together.
Right. Before God's beauty, I'm sorry to interrupt you again. I mean, we have Olusegun Oyelowo. permit my pronunciation, says, strongly rooting for you, our radio star boy going global. So I think you're really blessed with a lot of people who can't wait to see you do this exploit.
So speaking on that, because that's, is showing support, so I want us to talk about it a bit. Now, speaking to your audience, I want you to speak to your audience. What's that support you need from them right now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, first off, this is actually kind of capital intensive, if I can say that. We're spending a lot of money. Going back to what you mentioned earlier about clout, we, of course, we need to do some PR just to get the words out, to let people know what's happening or what's about to happen. We're spending a lot of money on welfare, on security, on PR, a lot of things, right? And then we're looking for sponsorship, of course. We've gotten a few, but we're still looking for more so we can take care of what we really want to do. And of course, it doesn't have to be sponsorship alone. If you want to support one way or another, you feel like coming to cheer up, to join the team, you think you can maybe bring people for interviews, any kind of support you can afford. We're looking for that.
Yeah.
So it's not just money. It can be your physical presence. It can be what you can do online. It can be that you have somebody that we don't know that you can talk to about what's about to happen and all of that. So yeah, there's just a lot of ways people can show support during this
time. So
time.
what would Old Daniels be remembered for when he's no longer on the microphone? I'm not talking of death. I mean, when you leave, when you're not actively on the microphone, what would you like people to remember Old Daniels for? I mean, what's that signature thing that everybody knows? Because I think every media personality has something that is signature about them. If you think of a Frank Edoho, there's something that comes to your mind first, and Ebuka, something comes to your mind first. So for an Old Daniels, right, in this stage of your career now, what would you like people to remember you for and your contribution to the Nigerian media?
That's a very, very deep question. I wouldn't say I'm too old in the media space, first off. So it's a very tricky question because I wouldn't want to shoot myself on the foot. All right, but then again, I love impact. In fact, one of the reasons I'm trying to break Guinness World Record for the longest marathon hosting a radio talk show right now is because I want to make an impact in the lives of people. However, what I'd like to be remembered for is just that impact, what I'm able to do. One thing for sure that I know that I'm going to do in this media space, and everybody listening to me right now, you're in the media, just know that one boy is coming for you. I've realized that in the media space, we don't really have something that brings everybody together. Like that. No, we don't, no hangouts, no awards like that, no. I mean, something that brings the people in the media together like that. We don't really have it, and I know that that's one thing I've been working on over the time, and I'm hoping that that's going to come to life real soon. So for me, impact. What impact you're going to have to know real soon.
All right. There's a comment here before God's Beauty Ask. Again, thank you all for your comments. You can also ask questions too. This is from Gideon Jesubemi or Bemi. Come on now. We're bringing this home, Old Daniels. Yeah, Olusegun, pardon me, I'm an Igbo girl to the core. So he's telling Old Daniels he's really rooting for you. And thank you, Gideon, for your comment.
Thank you.
So yeah, I want to ask, right, because we've had a lot of young people, say that they want to break the normal routine that we have in the media space. Now, what will your message be to them, given that you're also doing something that is a bit rare? Not everybody, I mean, it's one thing to think about it, so I want to do this, and another thing for you to now start executing it. And I think, executing a particular plan is where the problem is itself. Not really about thinking it. It's about putting out that thing. Exactly. So tell me, for the young people, young stars that are thinking of, doing something, what's your message to them?
Okay, well, I've got to let you know that go for it. Go for it. Whatever thing you think you want to do, whatever thing you've thought about, whatever thing you dream about, go for it. Make your decisions. They always say that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. But to be very honest, for me, I don't think it starts with a step. I honestly think it starts with a decision, because if you don't decide to actually take that step, you're not going to get nowhere. You know, so go for it, do what you said you want to do. No procrastination. Everybody does that. Everybody kind of procrastinates, but you can limit it, you can work on that, and you can make the decision to go for it. So yeah.
That's amazing. So
for
this marathon that is going to happen, which media personality or celebrity do you hope to see come around?
Yeah, well, now you want to put me in trouble.
I mean, this is a call out there. You could be listening to this and say, oh, really? Where's going to happen? I'm going to be there. Like,
yes, yeah, I have a huge respect for a number of media personality. One will be Ike Osaki-Odua, who has been
the GOAT himself.
Yeah, who has been I've met him a couple of times, all right, but he's been a distant model for me. You know, I've watched him from a distance, and of course, I'm looking to actually move closer to him. Like I said, I've seen him, I've met him a couple of times, but I really hope he's seeing this right now, and I would love for him to actually come around, and maybe we can talk on the shows. Another person who has been mentioned earlier today is Frankie Dole. I've had this long-lasting respect.
I've liked him since I was in my mother's womb.
Let me tell you a story.
For too long.
Yeah, growing up when he used to host
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like that was where a passion started from in me. I didn't know it. But, you know, he's always been that guy that... Who doesn't love Frankie Dole?
Who doesn't, really?
Who doesn't? So, you know, he on those suits and his articulation,
his wit. He's very witty and smart.
I'm telling you, and he's well put together on the show and everything. He was just a sight to see, you know. So I feel that was where all these things started from. I just didn't know on time, you know. So Frankie Dole is one person that I would love to meet. I've not met him before, but I know that certainly someday I'm going to meet him. He might just put a surprise on me, you know, and just come for this Guinness World Record.
I think that should happen.
Then another person I'd like to, you know, maybe pretty much have on the show is Don Jazzy.
Okay.
That's it.
And I'm not saying this because he's a philanthropist, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
I'm saying this because I respect his work. That's one person I want to be like when it comes to helping people, seeing talent, bringing them in, helping them, giving them platforms, and all of that. He's one person I respect so much. So I would love to have him on the show to know his story, to know why he does the things he does, you know. So yeah, just to mention a few. I mean, there's several lot of them.
Female from everything that you mentioned.
True.
Only Frank, Ike, Don Jazzy.
That woman in the media. We were telling
You know, when you ask this question, I already told you were going to put me in trouble.
Yeah, I know. I do that for a living.
I mean, there's a lot of people that I'd love to have on the show. Someone like Tiwa Savage, for example. Tiwa Savage, I need to study her tenacity when it comes to what she does. Tiwa Savage has been there for so long. Yeah. Before we even knew her in Nigeria, she's been abroad, you know, singing and everything. And then she's here, and she's been there for years. I can't count how many female musicians we have in Nigeria that has done what she's done in terms...
that long.
Yeah, that long. And she's still there, still doing the craft and still grinding and everything. She's one person that somebody needs to study to know her story, to know what pushes her to do these things that she does. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them, but just to save time.
You know what I've drawn from all of these things that you have mentioned, especially appreciating all the celebrities and people who have, you know, done well in this space. It takes me back to one quote I hear someone say a lot, who is also a big mentor of mine. And she says that when you shine your light, you give other people the opportunity to do so. Sometimes we start out doing something and you're like, I don't even know where this is going to take me through. But if you stay through to it and keep grinding, as we will say in today's world, and keep putting out your very best, other persons are seeing why they can also do same. Do you understand? I mean, looking back at that Frank Adele story you mentioned, I remember sitting in the parlor with my family watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, not having the dream per se to do journalism in school, but I can say that some of those things that we're doing right now was birthed from, you know, situations like that. And so this is like a call to everyone. Whatever you're doing now, even though you don't feel like you're very popular or famous now, but you're giving other people the opportunity to also shine their light as well. So don't give up, because other people might give up if you give up.
Yeah,
now, looking at all of this that has happened, do you think that there's a role that the government, even at all, plays in supporting talents like this, initiatives like this? I mean, we saw, I don't know how much support came from Hilda Bassey's one. I didn't follow it as much. I mean, I was in school engrossed with project work. Okay. But, I mean, do you think that the government has a role to play in supporting talent and initiatives like this?
Yeah. I mean, it can't be overemphasized, the fact that the talents that come from this place, it does a lot to the government. And sometimes even the government actually profit from it, because we export those things, and it somehow it turns to profit for them. For, hey, shout out to the Lagos State governor. Actually, he's been so supportive. I mean, I've watched him over time. Every time there's a talent, there's this person, that person doing something that brings pride to the state. You know, he's always showing up. True. He's always giving his support. He's always, you know, just being there, and every time. So yeah, kudos to him and the government for what they are doing. And honestly speaking, I'm hoping that he's going to show up for this too. This should never be the time he stops. You know.
Not at your own time.
No, not now. Please, not now.
I like that.
I'm actually hoping that he's going to show up for this to give his support. And we've written to them, and then we're hoping that we get all the support that we are asking of them. And so, yeah, I know the government has a lot to do. Yeah. It's a prideful thing for them to know that these young talents are coming out of the state, you know.
Amazing. So after successfully completing, we're wrapping up the show now. I want to take a leap into the future. After completing this 120 hours challenge, what's the next big mountain that O Daniels is looking to climb?
Somebody has asked me this question
and
before.
I'm asking again.
Honestly speaking, there's always more to life, you know. There are some times that you know, if you're traveling to, for example, you're traveling to Ibadan right now from here, you can't see the destination from here, but as you're driving towards Ibadan, you get to see clearer, and it becomes clearer and clearer. You know, the big thing right now is the Guinness World Record. The next big thing is going to unfold, and everybody's going to know about that, but not right now. Do you understand? Yeah, but I know that there's something real big that is coming. But everybody will get to know. Don't let me let the cat off the
bag. All right. Thank you so much, O Daniels. It's been very insightful. A lot of gems and lessons I've learned today from you, from consistency to discovering your voice, you know, to just starting. Resilient. I mean, we've heard a quote from O Daniels today that the journey of 1,000 miles is not a step anymore, it's a decision.
Well, my words, please.
And I'm holding on to that. I think that's very commendable.
Right,
and this is where we wrap up our show for today. O Daniels is not just attempting a world record, he's amplifying what passion, consistency, and vision can sound like. And as he pushes through 120 hours on air, he reminds us that your voices can be more than noise. It can be legacy. So whether you're chasing records or just chasing growth, let his journey echo this truth. Dare to start, stay the course, and speak with purpose. We're cheering you on, O Daniels, and may your mic never run dry.
Amen to that.
So ensure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow us on all our social media platforms. Engage, and remember to like, share, comment, and invite your friends and family to watch us and follow us. Have a wonderful day ahead, and see you tomorrow. Bye.